Welcome back for another one. And in the event you're just now catching this series and want to start from the beginning, there is an eye in the corner of the screen to go back and watch this series from the beginning.
Star-Lord looks fine. You got Groot up there. Again, a lot of those characters, they made sense, and especially to Tier 13 because Dark Dimension 2. So that would all made sense, especially back in the day.
Yeah.
Nowadays, looking at that Iron Fist, that's a big Iron Fist. But again,
Yeah.
probably from back when it wasn't that unreasonable.
Yeah.
Now you do have a couple of bigger Fury-related teams. Was there a specific reason why you went pretty heavy into the Fury team?
Yeah, so back in the day, once again, I keep saying back in the day because it's not advice you guys get today. It was go Defenders, shift to Fury Shield. That was like the meta then. Defenders, Fury Shield. So I follow what the larger content creators say. I shifted as soon as I get Fury unlocked. I shifted to them. So yeah, they are built. They do have high use in Greek raids. But outside that, I mean, today's game, they power creep, just like we mentioned earlier of the Doom War. They were able to do that first node, but that first node on node 7, but node 8, like they just failed drastically.
Yeah, Wave 1 Avengers definitely out-hit them now for that section at least.
Yeah.
Mordo, great character. Supernatural, very underrated team. So always, in my book, using resources on Supernatural will never come back to bite you because they do so many things that can interact with other characters in really unique ways. They are always going to have uses. At least that's the way I've seen them. So Mordo is a great character for that because I've been using him for a very long time. I used him as part of an Ultron counter from before I got Ultron. And today, if I have my Supernatural available and there's a Ultron team on defense, I still use it because Supernatural destroys Ultron teams.
Yeah.
Getting through the Mystic campaign, Cosmic, great character to have built there. So no complaints on that at all. Next row, you have Ultron, of course. Obviously, build Ultron. He's a great character, so
Yeah.
no complaints. Vulture, you said you were thinking him for the city lane. But honestly, that looks pretty similar to the size of my Vulture, just you have some more levels into him.
Okay.
He's a pretty good character. He has more uses than people realize, so even with the changes coming to Sinister 6, if he is someone you choose to drop, you will be able to find other homes for him. He works very well.
Yeah.
I used to use him over Vision and Power Armor, and it worked very well at the time.
Okay.
Obviously, Ironheart is better than Vulture, but I didn't like the way Vision cleared buffs right before you used abilities that took advantage of buffs.
Yeah.
So instead of that, I just slowed the other team down and rewound their turn meter with Vulture.
Yeah.
So good character there. Thor as an Asgardian, 60k. Yeah, that'll help you with the Doom War 19. Good character. Vision. Unfortunately, Vision's a little homeless right now.
Yeah, I don't think if I hadn't used him for other content earlier in the game, I don't think I would have. He was sitting on my roster like level 1 or 30. Like, I think I built him up for a previous like a character event campaign, and then he's kind of just been sitting there. He bounces from team to team on my blitzes and war. Yeah, homeless.
I think in Blitz I have him with Fury Coulson or something, just kind of holding down a spot so I can have, or not even Fury Coulson because Coulson's not on the team. That's why Vision's there.
Yeah.
Just like he works pretty much anywhere you put him, but at least for the time being, he doesn't really have a home.
Yeah.
I'd assume that's going to change with WandaVision, but it could not. But
you never know.
Great character, nowhere really to use him, so it's kind of sad. It's hard to say it's not a character I would have recommended building, but looking back on it, it's almost like you probably shouldn't have. But
yeah.
That's kind of unfortunate because he is a great character.
Yeah, he's just not resource efficient today, put it that way.
Right. Captain Marvel, good character. Basically a solo team wherever you put her. She makes any team work.
Yeah.
Okoye Wakandans, I'm assuming, are going to be coming pretty soon after that. You're doing that, I know, because I've heard your thoughts on chaos theory and how
Yeah.
important that is,
Yes.
and I'm not going to argue against it because when I made my beginner's guide, and I have it literally right here. I definitely have some mentions about chaos theory in there too, so I'm with you on that, and so I'm not going to argue against any, especially just starring them up.
Yeah. I'm.
Loki, great
Look.
character.
Yeah.
Looks like we're getting to a couple of remnants here with
Yeah.
defenders and Drax. Not a lot of homes there, but nothing's particularly standing out. Like, ooh, why on earth would you do this? Like,
Yeah.
everything seems like there was a reason at one point or another. Like, Miss Marvel is a surprisingly useful character. When
Very.
she came out, I remember everyone, all the content creators were like, "This is horrible," and me on my channel that 6 people watched back then was like, "This character's amazing, guys. I love Miss Marvel," and I built her up right away, and I've never regretted it. She
Yeah.
seems to just be the one that keeps on giving, and she's getting better. It seems the more power creep there is, just because it's so open ended with her passive
Yeah.
that she will always have good use. So yeah, I like that. Captain America getting some more love. I'm super happy because I'm a major Captain America fan. Um, but now with the Wave One Avengers being useful, and it seems like they're building teams around all of the Avengers individually, so that's
Yeah.
pretty good use. Crystal, Falcon, Luke Cage, can't argue against it again. Probably just from the Defenders era.
Yeah.
The only one here that I guess I can see that I would say is like, okay, maybe not in hindsight, but at the same time, you can still use this character, and that is Spider-Man.
Yes. Yeah. He's
It's
from day one. Like when I first started playing this
yeah,
game, he's the first character you get, and
mm-hmm.
and when I was playing this game, I didn't really have. There was no Discord. There was no Discord for me. The alliance was there was no alliance. So I was pretty much like going through figure out things myself, and you have to clear the heroes campaign. So Spider Man's
Yeah,
right there. So I just keep investing in Spider Man. Obviously, I got to a point where I realized like I started looking things up on YouTube and stuff like that, and I got to the point where like why am I still investing in Spider-Man? Like, let's go Defenders. So I think he got up there just by the start of the game and me not being very knowledgeable in the game when it started.
right. Well, Spider-Man's a very interesting character because you have to invest to him in some degree, or you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Then he was okay near the beginning of the game because characters are pretty weak,
Yeah.
and then he fell off pretty quick. And they buffed him, I think, twice. And both times there was like a little pocket where he was pretty good. You can go and you can check out some casino tier list graphics. He is like god tier in most casino tier list graphics.
Oh wow.
I don't know where he has him now. I
Yeah.
think he's probably taken a little fall, but relatively recently he had him pretty high. Both him and like Deadpool were like god tier,
Yeah. I mean,
which is
he does interesting things. I think you would probably need him. Like, he probably needs higher level than this because his defense down and his stun are two big things. But if someone resists it, it makes him useless.
yeah.
So with a big investment, I can see it. I think there's other characters that are like that where they're kind of useless until you have a big investment in them.
Yeah, he's always been this interesting character because he's had waves where he was super useful, and then waves where it's like, what on earth are you touching him with? And then after Symbiote Spider-Man came out, with the way the kit was worded, it's like now Spider-Man is god tier again. Bring him up to tier 14 instantly. He's going to be massively essential. Now, honestly, he probably would do pretty good in Dark Dimension 3 with the full symbiote Miles team. I wouldn't recommend doing it, but it could probably work.
Okay.
But again, he's not a character that I see them looking as a game and saying, we're okay letting Spider Man fall to the bottom of the heap. They've shown time and time again that when he starts falling, they give a little something to kind of pick him back up in relevance. And with some of the I don't even know if they only are considered rumors anymore. I mean, I know I've mentioned it on my channel of this character coming to the game. There's a character that's likely coming to the game in the nearish future who is not designed to work with him, but with the way some of the passives are worded, could make another interesting choice. And the character I'm talking about is Ghost Spider or Spider Gwen,
Yeah.
because Symbiote Spider-Man's passive says hero Spider-Verse characters.
Hmm.
she will be a hero of Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
So if you want to, you have Miles on the Young Avengers and you're fine with your Young Avengers and you want to keep Spider-Man and Ghost Spider on the symbiote team, perhaps he gets another jump in something like that. It's hard to say, but I don't regret building Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not
No.
against that at all. Black Panther, great character, really. Just not as much of a home as a lot of people are breaking up their Wakandans. I refuse, but
I kind of refuse to, just because I don't have like some of the other teams that you should put them on available or build up, which we're probably going to get into the shocking characters I don't have built up. But yeah, so I still have them together, but I did switch them to ward defense because they just weren't doing anything on offense.
yeah, that's where mine are. I had them used on offense for a very long time because they were a counter to, ironically, my two teams that people kind of knew my channel for over the time were actually three teams: was Spider-Verse, BKT, because technically that was my invention way back in the day, and then Wakanda, because I loved Wakanda, and I used Wakanda to beat BKT. Which is just really funny because I use my two teams against each other. They used to be good for that, but you don't see BKT on defense.
No.
What are you using your Wakandans against? So I just put mine on defense. In war, mine are 430k, so I still get wins.
Yeah. Wow.
Also, I actually just talked about, they're a team that is very minor tweaks from being really good.
Yeah, it seems like they're definitely missing something. I just don't know what that thing is.
I have in the I don't want to get too much into it because not the greatest mood, but with recent events, I did make a video talking about Wakanda just because of recent events. And it's like it's so minor. There's so many times where it says in this specific situation where if they just took that line out, they instantly become more usable. Or like in Shuri's ultimate, if it's clear heal block and then heal, then it's instantly the Wakandans become a player again. Like there's so minor tweaks, and they could be good. But again, Black Panther, if you really don't use your Wakandans, he's a great hero brawler with an incredibly fun passive.
Yes, you can do a lot of damage if he has high red stars. Whew.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then you got Mantis, you got Pyro, you got Mystique, you got Shield Medic. You had a Fury team back in the day, and obviously Fury Coulson's still a good defense. Mystique with the Marauders, with the Brotherhood, those are all usable characters there. Deadpool with X-Force, Rhino, who's pretty strong for blue gear over there, but looks like the red stars are helping out. That's fine. Scarlet Witch, great character. All right, Nobu and Hand Assassin. I know you need them for Phoenix. You may have built them a little more than you needed to, though.
Yes, you're probably in hindsight, you are correct. So Hand Assassin did get built because when I unlocked Phoenix at 6 stars, I built Hela wasn't in the game yet, or she wasn't farmable at the time. But since she became farmable, I switched to Hela and got Hela to 7 stars. But I'm still waiting for the next Phoenix round to get Phoenix to 7 stars. But as I was clearing content, I said, okay, what do I have left to do? And I was like, well, I haven't, beat tier 7 of the Relic Hunt. And I go look at my hand character, and I was like, well, this character's almost done. I might as well just finish them and use them. And that's kind of how they got to 7 stars. But
the stars weren't really the question.
It's the power.
40k is pretty big.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need it for the Relic Hunt, because honestly, I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure I've 7-starred it, but I don't pay that much attention to the Relic Hunt. Mostly because I'm tired of hearing stuff about hand on my channel, because I'd say at least 10% of people that watch my streams and videos just really love making hand jokes. So I do my best to avoid all usage of hand characters. But I don't know. Nobu admittedly is not that bad, and I just, again, showed him having more use than I expected pretty recently. So I don't know, not too bad. Everything I'm seeing makes sense, at least to a degree. I guess that's just a touch higher, but not too big of a deal.
All right.
Yeah. Aim, Shield, Ronin, Gamora, Sabretooth, all have had good uses throughout different periods. Green Goblin, pretty low on your Sinister 6 end.
Yeah, I kind of only built them to where I needed them to unlock the legendaries, and then I stopped.
Right.
I mean, well, actually,
He's
the 7-star of the legendaries too, because I have both of them at 7. So, I mean,
right.
that's all I really needed to invest to do that job.
Right. Well, he is current. You, based on my recollection here, all your Sinister Six are blue gear that I've seen.
Yeah.
I would say he's the most versatile. Well, I Vulture. You had Vulture and Purple Gear, right?
Yeah, because he's
Um,
going up.
those are the two that I consider the most versatile. Will be Vulture and Green Goblin,
Okay.
because I know with especially this overabundance of Sinister Six characters, all 8 of them, because who counts at Fox next? Um, Green Goblin was one a lot of people were saying to drop because he can have the most other uses, and that is a fair point. His passive makes him a very interesting use to put in with the symbiotes. If you use Green Goblin and then use your symbiotes as an Asgardian counter, which I tend to use them as, every time a Spider Verse character takes a turn, he strips some buffs away. Well, you're trying to get to a Hela that's hiding in stealth. Eventually, after 300 turns with your symbiote Spider Man and Carnage, you're going to be able to get to that Hela because he will strip it eventually.
Yeah, I
So
know exactly what you're talking about. I've been there.
I've normally, when I do it, I kill everyone, and it's just Hela hiding in stealth with a bunch of army of Gregs.
Yeah.
And it's for 4 minutes. I'm just like, I can't deal with this right now. Put it on auto. Eventually, she will die.
Yeah,
But
I've been there. It's frustrating.